Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, good evening. I have been the whole day seated in the same chair, in the same position, looking into the same screen that I'm doing now. So, a bit tired. I will try to make it short, as I always say, because I want to keep working because it's something that I like. So, root chakra today. So the reason why we are going to speak about work today is because related to the root chakra, it means the manifestation. It means the matter, the action, the doing things here in this reality. So I recommend to you to read blog today because it's been so much and so many concepts of work that that me myself had to, I was like kind of dizzy when I was writing this, and there are so many concepts that I had to go once and again to read what I was writing. So it's I thought it was amazing to go through the process of how all these words connect one another and how they show you the origin of the things that we use today. We're going to start talking about the concept of what work is for us today, because today we say that work is something that dignifies the people. This is a concept that we have today, but the concept of work has been changing for so long through history that we need to understand every one of the steps. So I guess I'm going to use the board. We're going to start from the present and we are going to go backwards. So first of all, let's remember that today, even if you don't like it, we are living in a capitalistic society. Which is global. I was just asking, do you remember why capitalism? But it would be easier if we were 30 people in a classroom with this question. So remember, capitalism comes from the word capital. Capital means the main city, but the origin of capital comes from cap, that is head. So cap, the head, is the one that organizes the all rest of the body. So the capitalism is the idea that there is one mind that tries to administrate all the resources around and distribute it according to a strategy. So the capitalism is related to a strategy of resources, of administration of resources. Okay? So for the capitalism, the concept of work is something that helps you as a tool to create your own resources and to administrate your own resources. So for the capitalism, the work is like the key of dignifying the person to achieve, to have resources and to administrate it by freedom. Okay? I'm not speaking about the capitalism as it works now. I'm speaking about capitalism as an idea. Okay? How it would be better. Okay. So in the other hand, until really short period in time, we had the communism. In the hand of communism, remember that it's a community. The origin is to live together, to be in union. for the point of view of community, work is also very important, but not to produce resources to grow, but to dignify the soul. Okay? Which means that the communism is about understanding that the person is able to create, to manifest, to produce something by its own soul, by its own attributes, and creates something outside. So it dignifies the soul that is able to create. But for the communism, that work is not to grow and expand yourself and administrate resources. Because here comes the state and says, I will take everything that you have produced and I will divide it in equal parts between all the people. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much you work, you will get the same result always. Okay, but the communists say that work is just to dignify the soul of a human to be able to create and do stuff. So the capitalism is the one looking for the dignity of the body, and the communism is the one looking for the dignity of the soul. So both of them says to work is the way in which we reach that dignity. So the work in both systems will be the key to dignify the being. But the capitalism will use the work with competition, and the communism will work it with equality, all being the same. So the communism ends because basically they work for the community, but they forget this important part of the system, which is that it's the individual, the one willing to expand and grow, not the group. So the communism work for the community as something that is growing, all equals, but they miss the part that is the self, the being, the one that pushes the group. So that's why all the people were trying to be themselves, and in communism you can't, because that's not good. So that's inner process makes that there's no production, no growing, so the economics fails, and suddenly no communism. It doesn't work. So basically, between the capitalism and because the communism fails, the communist thinkers take the energy of the capitalism and they create a new branch that we will call socialism. So the socialism creates like this middle system in which there is no competition, but also you allow the growth of the inner self of the people. And again, you take the work as a key of dignity. I don't know if you can see it, but I leave it here anyway, so you can have the frame. Communism, soul's dignity. Capitalism, body's dignity. Socialism in the middle. Try to find a balance between both of them. So what is the problem now? Socialism doesn't work neither, because we are in the 21st century, and these are systems from the 19th century, so 2 centuries before. So these systems doesn't work anymore for our society today. Okay, to have this idea, the communism takes care of the group, so it doesn't care about the individual. I don't care the individual, says the communism. I care about the group. We need to help all of them. And the capitalism says, I don't care about group. I just care about the individual. So be free, individual. Do whatever you want. I don't care about the group. This is why neither of both of them work, because the capitalism is not taking care of the group, and the group needs help, and the communism is not taking care of the individual, and the individual needs to grow. So it doesn't work, none of them. And the socialism, instead of saying individuals be free and let's take care of the group with the freedom, takes the wrong thing of both of them, trying to control the individual and to give freedom to the group. Freedom to the group, but control the individual. So it's like, so socialism has this conflict. Why? So why happens this? Because the three ideas are built by concepts or philosophies that are populist. So what is populism? Populism comes from the word populus in Latin, that means the people, okay? People. So what is populism? You have populism in the right and left, because both of them, even if they are capitalistic or communism, are just ideas of the population. Okay, a population, a big group of people. So a lot of people share an idea, a philosophy, and instead of taking care of their own philosophy inside, they just are pushed by the main idea of the group. So that is why they are pushed by the populace. Okay, the movement of the population is populism. So what is a populism? Why a populism is born? Because of the unconscious society. The society, the humanity, is unconscious. Why? Because it needs to survive. It's looking for survival. Why? Because we need to eat, we need to defend ourselves, so we need the group, the family. Remember, we have been speaking about this. We need the group to take care of us. So that's why through thousands of years, we have created the idea that we need the others in order to survive. So that's why when a group thinks in one way, everyone tries to think exactly as the group, just in case they can die. And that's how people create an idea, and we call that populism. Now, why a population, a group exists? Because they need to survive in order to have food. They want food, so they need that food. So they start to figure out the way in which all this group can survive. And the first thing that they do is, we need food, something to eat. So we have to go and hunt, we have to go and sow, we have to harvest. So we have to do all the things. And in order to get those products, you have to do many things, put your strength to work, to dig the ground, to hunt, to have wounds. So the body starts to hurt, to suffer. In Latin, this physical suffering is called labor. The first labor that we all experience in our lives is giving birth, being born, sorry. So being born is the first suffering that we have. And that's what we call the labor of being given birth. So from that moment on, everything that we have, everything for which we have to suffer to get food or a product for myself will be called a labor, something that makes me suffer, that has pain on it. So from that moment, everything that starts to be created is all related to the suffering. So check the blog in yosoy.red, and there you will find all the explanations of the origin of the words work, job, and so on. First, we go to one of the main of all history, human civilization. The human civilization was divided in different stages. For sure, you have heard about the concept of the age of iron, the age of bronze, when we speak about the human history. And this is because the archaeologists, before the carbon-14 test existed, they could only interpret the times of history according to the metals that humans were using in that period of time. So the blacksmith was the most important job in that period of time, and for us it's really important because that's how we knew the different ages of humanity in history. The blacksmith is one of the most important works in history, because everyone needed a blacksmith to do all their jobs. Because the one that works in the fields, the one that works in the castle, in the construction, in the kitchen, in the jewelry, all of them need a blacksmith, okay, to do the tools. So that was the most important job that anyone could have, okay? So so that's why also to be a blacksmith is the one that's with the iron, and iron in Latin is ferrum. So the one that lives on the pressure of the ferrum is the sufferum. So subferrum is under the ferrum, under the iron, which is suffering. The concept of suffering is the one that is under the pressure of the whole society, of the whole work. The blacksmith was the one using this tool in the ancient time that was called tripalium. Tripalium is the concept of three pieces of wood, where they used to tie the horses and some animals to work on their pots. I don't know the word in English for herradura. If you know, like this iron thing that they put on the horses' pots. So they would work with that, and yeah, horseshoes. Okay. The tripalium was a tool of blacksmith to work with the animals. So in war times, all the tools become weapons. So the tripalium was used for torture. So they used to tie people there, and they would use the tools of the blacksmith to make bad things to the people. So now look into this. In the ancient times, whoever was a blacksmith had good job, has a money and earning, and it was good to be a blacksmith because you have many things to do, a lot of money. So that's why to have a tripalium was good, which creates the word trabajo in Spanish and other languages. So it's good. to have a tripalium at home, because that means that you have work. Okay? But in the other hand, the same thing, the same tool was used to torture. So that's why if you have a tripalium, was also to suffer and to create suffering. They are the two origins of the word tripalium, trabalho. So the word tripalium or travel, you say also travel, is something that matches the suffering and the ability to get resources. In English, you may use the word trabalho, to describe something that really hurts, something that makes you suffer a lot. So in the subconscious, for the population, the populism, the word trabalho, labor, is related to the suffering of doing something, to accomplish something, that you need to work hard, to sweat in order to get what you want. The word labor or trabalho in our subconscious is related to the concept of those things that I have to do obligated if I don't want to die, to make an effort. In the cultures, we created the idea that the person who has a labor, are the ones that are going to live fine, because they will have what to eat, they will have where to sleep, and they will be able to reproduce. This is why work starts to be like a synonym for dignity, because of the work, because of the labors, I am able to survive. This is what is used by the communism for the soul and the capitalism for the body. So these two systems, the one of the community and the one of the capital, creates the concept that the only way to have dignity, the only way to have dignity is through work. So if you don't have work, you don't have dignity. You know how it starts to be created. So whoever doesn't have a job is expelled from the capitalism or slaved for the communism. So there is a moment in between these two systems that there is someone that just gets conscious, and suddenly that person doesn't look into the capitalism of the body or the communism of the soul. It starts to be connected with the unity of the spirit. So in that moment, that person realizes about something, which is, oh, I am the creator. So in that moment is when myself starts to say, I can do exactly the same with no need of suffering, just with pleasure. This person recognized that there's no need for the soul to live through others in the community or to compete with others in the capital of the body. The being that becomes aware recognizes that there's no need to survive because the body is eternal. So you get detached from physical things. You don't need physical things anymore. You just use physical things for a moment. And in the other side, there's no need to be accepted by a group or to work for a group to be. I accept myself. So from the freedom of my being, I use both systems. When I recognize that I am not in the need of suffering, of travail, of labor, what I recognize is that I am the creator of that. I am not suffering anymore. So I realize that this is my own creation, that this is my design. I am the only one operator of my own reality, and operate my own reality is the one that creates the word office. Office comes from the word opus, that means opera, a craft. To operate. The master opera. So the office is the thing that you operate because of yourself, because you realize who you are. So you will become the creator. You become the own creator of your things. When you are pushed by the environment to do something, you work. You travail. You are in labor. When you do it by yourself, being aware of what you do, it's your opera. That's your own operation. Your office. So, to wrap this up, remember that to be spiritual is not to let the material world away, to leave all the physical things and doesn't care about the money and all these things. No. To be spiritual is to be coherent, that you are using matter, not matter is using you. When matter uses you, all the world, the weight of the world is on you, the iron of the planet, and that's suffering. But when you create your own reality using the iron, create things, that's what you call to have an office, to operate reality. That's your opera. So important this. When you connect with your divine, usually you will start to say, I don't want to work with this anymore. I want to be free to do whatever I want. And sometimes we think that if we do whatever we want, we won't have the money survive in the system, or for the system that would be terrible, the end of the system. But no, when we become aware of ourselves and we do what we have come to do in this world, is when the system starts to work really, because you are doing what you are supposed to do. So that is helpful for the system. The only thing is that when you start to do what you are supposed to do from your inner self, there is no more ideology. They disappear. So now, if you ask yourself, well, maybe I want to do these different things, but I need the money, I need to work, I need to do this and that in order to accomplish my goals. So if I don't work, I won't have that. So the thinking here would be, why do you think that you need to win something that is not good for you in order to have things, to buy things that are good for you? How is that? So for example, myself, I am really well economically. I cannot complain. But I don't work. I have never worked in my life. And some people say, are you to work? Never. Because what I do is what I am. Since the moment I recognized who I was just doing what I was. That's it. And I've seen people telling me, but this is not work. You never worked and you live fine with no work. And I said, yes, because I choose not to suffer. I am all the day doing things constantly, many things, but they are not work. It's me. And of course that scares to be in the edge and saying, what do I do? I'm not reaching anything. What do I do? But remember, you are the creator. We are the creator. So if you create fear, you will have fear. I spoke even more than I expected. And this is because I enjoy it. I'm not working. The vibration for today is Bo. The statement for today is, I am the universal child's home. The code for today is destiny. The extremes of this path, or strings of the web, are called destinies. Implicitly in them exists the word purpose. If we take a node, the string, and another node, we can interpret that in geometry exists an origin, a path, and a destiny. But that origin turns at the same time into another destiny in the patterns. Thus, all become a purpose. Destiny is then not a final, but part of an integration and comprehension process within the evolutive path. So let's go to the alignment. We sit properly, we sit comfortable, and what I was going to say, and close your eyes. Sorry, I was Suddenly I was couldn't think. I was thinking in Italian. I couldn't speak in English. Take a deep breath and pay attention to the environment you find yourself in, and use your imagination to design a very dark night with a big dark sky full with stars. And in front of you, in the center, there is a fire. I feel the fire in my hands, its heat in my chest and my face, and I feel surrounded by other people. I perceive the deep light of the fire, yellow, orange, and red, and the flames moving like snakes. I observe the circle of people around the fire, all seated together under the stars. I recognize that the people around the fire are all those that represent my co-workers, the people that I share the work with, employees, bosses, friends, partners, patients, clients, all the people that represent the work in your life. I recognize that in front of me, the fire is what connects me to all of them. Is the office, the workplace, and the light, the flames, represent my office, my own hobby, what I really love to do. Watch the fire and ask yourself, what is that I love to do the most? What is my attribute, my office, my opera? I am free Am I free from all these links with all these people to do what I like, what I have come here to do? And ask yourself, am I really free to manifest, to create, to do what I like? Recognize that all the people that is around you are the kids of the universe that got together here to find a way to get what they need, the basic needs, to survive in this world. And they got together to work for it. Ask yourself now, are you working for the survival of the group or for the expansion of the group? Ask yourself, are you suffering, feeling trapped in your work, or you feel expanded and free, growing through it? Is your job a condition of the group? Or it is your own creation? I observe again, deep in the fire, that office that is mine, where I find myself free, expanded. And with my singing, I absorb this light inside of my body. And my office becomes my home, and the workers become free children of the cosmos. I am the home of the universal children. I am the home of the universal children. I am the home of the universal children. Let the children come to me, for I am freedom. Take a deep breath and come here and now, each one at its own time. Gracias a todos por estar ahí. Thank you everybody for being here. See you tomorrow at the same time.